Hello everyone in the EDAP587 Spring 2019 class. You will henceforth be known as knowledge builders. This class is all about teaching and learning online. It is broken down into modules to make it easier for you to complete the work. All the modules contain pre-recorded videos of lectures about the content. I'm going to go through this rather quickly, and if you have questions or, and this is very important, if you want to set up a time and a date, in other words, standardize on that, to actually have us meet in synchronous mode within the Collaborate Ultra, I'll be more than happy to do that. In fact, before I leave this site today, I'll make sure there's a Collaborate Ultra link over there on the left-hand side. People have done that in the past. Others have just worked their way through the course. And still others like to have a time set aside so that when they finish, say, Module 1, they come in and sit in my office. Or we just sit and kibitz over the Collaborate. Of course, the other thing that's always available to you is my text number at 502-457-2937. Any questions, any concerns, any confusions, you send it out to me and you'll get an answer right away. So let's go through this rather quickly. This first one, everybody kind of complains about it, and rightly so. What we're trying to do here in this particular module is to give you a sense of the old way. And the old way is the bad way, frankly. And so there is a online course in here, mini course, that basically will walk you through the history of online. It's really interesting how much, how far back in history online learning goes. It was there before the electronic age. It was there before the telephone. Very interesting. This second part is sort of the so what. In other words, why are we looking at online teaching and learning? And in this one, you get to meet some of my heroes. This is John Abbott. John Abbott is a professor at Stanford University. He is the one who came up with the term constructivism. You will see as we roll through here, constructivism is very much a part of online learning in this particular take. We will also be looking at inquiry-based learning. And probably the most important part of all this is the paradigm shift. So paradigm shifts is how we can look at distance education as a change from the classical classroom. Inquiry-based is a way of having kids work through the learning and have them develop the activities that they want to use. You'll be using a tool called VoiceThread to create this particular module, Understanding. As I said, if you don't know how to use VoiceThread, there are links in here that will show you. If every course has a heart, this is the heart of this course right here. Knowledge building. Knowledge building, it was created by actually two friends of mine. A lady by the name of Marlene Scartamalia and her partner Carl Bereiter. Carl is recognized as one of the leading lights in education in the last century. Still going strong at 86, I think he is now. He and Marlene basically came up with this concept of knowledge building principles. As you can see, I've put this in here. To me, they are held up by four ideas: constructivism, collaboration, ideas at the center, and questioning. This particular module is rather deep. You'll need to take your time and go through it. There's a lot of things in this module to look at and to understand. This is where we will focus on what Marlene calls belief mode, the ideas behind what you're trying to create. And then the ideas in design mode are the quality matters in the Google Classroom. you're going to be asked to take a principle. There are 12 principles outlined in the Knowledge Building Principles document. And I'm going to ask you again to create another voice thread where you're going to define it in your own words, how you see the principles applied in the classroom, and to describe a classroom activities that employ some of the principles. Don't panic. All of this is very well covered. If we go into this particular module, you can see here is a example. Here is the Knowledge Forum PowerPoint. I should say Knowledge Building PowerPoint. Here's how you're going to do it. And here's where the videos live. This is what you need to watch. You need to watch all of this, frankly. If you go into here, and you will see over here the 12 principles of knowledge building. In here is where each one of the principles are described to you by actually friends of mine, teachers in Toronto, and kids. It's a really nice, very visual way of you understanding what it is when we talk about knowledge building principles. Make sure you take that time. Good friend Richard Messina here is sort of your host. Good guy. Known Richard for quite a few years. And we have here, this will help you with the design of this. And if you're having trouble with it, again, give me a holler. I'll be there to help. Moving on from the heart, now we get to, if you want to call it, the skeleton. So this is Quality Matters. Quality Matters is nothing more than a series of standards that we should all be using designing online learning. I really, really like Quality Matters. And you know why I really like Quality Matters? Because it's a neutral set of standards. When you look at it, what you start realizing is that the stuff that it has in it just makes sense. I mean, it's not like it's anything hard to understand. And you will see that it's so easy then to sit down and think about what your course is going to be like and what you're going to do, because you have this roadmap called Quality Matters. Nicely done stuff here. And one of the things you'll be doing is you'll be looking at some courses that have been created in something called Schoology. I use the Schoology one because A, they followed the Quality Matters one, and B, you can't see other people's Google Classrooms unless you're in the same domain. So don't worry about this being Schoology. They all are kind of similar, but you do have classes in here that you'll be able to look at to do your analysis of them using the Quality Matters. One last point about Quality Matters. Quality Matters is a peer review process. It is not an evaluative tool. It is a way for us to look at what we've created and have the same set of vocabulary when we talk about it. And then finally, there's the Google Classroom. Everything about the Google Classroom. If you already have a Google Classroom, then all you need to do is to go back into it, put the Quality Matters rubric up next to it, and go through and see if the things that are in the Quality Matters rubric exist in your Google Classroom. If they don't, create them. In other words, you don't have to go back and recreate a wheel here, folks. If you already have a Google Classroom, if you already have a structure in place, the next step up is to go and actually make it become in sync with the Quality Matters. And as I said, when you look at Quality Matters, it's just common sense kind of stuff. Finally, your hat will take a look at your Google Classroom structure using the Quality Matters. So you just go through and look at your Google Classroom that you've created, looking at it through the lens of Quality Matters. You score it, and then it's all covered in here about how that works. And then I come back in and I will look at the way that you have scored it, and then I will score it. And the goal here is not that I'm going to evaluate you unless you have pieces missing, but the goal is for you and I to have a dialogue about what you've created. One last thought here. What a lot of people will do if they need another set of 3 hours, because the endorsement only has 12, if you want to make it a full 15, so you have 15 toward a rank 1 or 15 toward a rank 2, we basically go in and you do an independent study where we take that Google Classroom that you have created for this course and we put it into play with real kids and see how it all turns out. So that is EDAP587, Teaching and Learning Online for the spring of 2019. Knowledge builders, any questions you might have, any help that you might need, do not hesitate to reach out at 502-457-2937. I look forward to hearing from you.